The boat was big. It had to be. Red Bull had organised a star-studded cast of surfers, guys like Bruce and Andy Irons, Mick Fanning, Jamie O'Brien and Ian Walsh. Then there was the photographers and the media guys like me. There must have been 30 on board this floating gin palace. There was only one female on board, however, and that was Andy's wife, Lyndie. Her boobs were big and they were beautiful. And they were getting bigger and more beautiful as the trip went along. However, that didn't stop me from striking up a friendship with Lyndie. She was, as she is now, friendly and hot and super kind and funny. She laughed sympathetically at my jokes and asked me questions about my family and drank white wine with a sweet, tinkly smile. Each night at dinner I desperately and painfully tried not to look at her boobs, especially considering Andy was often at the dinner table with us. Anyway, one night after the usual enforced 6,000 Red Bull infused cocktails, Lyndie was laughing long and hard at one of my post-dinner witticisms. I hadn't looked at her breast for a good 25 minutes and felt justifiably proud of myself. Andy was laughing too, and it was then that Lyndie said, "Hey Andy, isn't Ben funny? I reckon he's just like Napoleon Dynamite." Now then there was real laughter, far superior in both volume and emotional heft than any of my jokes, the table erupting in my uncanny resemblance to the movie character. The problem was I hadn't seen the movie. I just naturally assumed that the character must have been hellishly humorous and no doubt oddly attractive. Andy started calling me Dynamite, which I loved because he was the 3 times world champion. Anyway, after a few nights I decided to maybe get the DV and check it out. And that's when I was pained to discover that Lyndie clearly saw me as a sexless, pale, high school outcast with a bushy red afro, spectacles and a perpetually pained look on his face. Yeah, I was shit hot alright. For the guy that the world's best surfers and one of the most attractive women I'd ever met reckoned I looked like the result of a geek being fucked by a nerd. The next morning I couldn't even look her in the face. I couldn't even look her in the boobs. Yeah, things had got that bad. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I'd been to the outer reaches of Fiji and hadn't surfed a wave over 3 foot. I had made friends with Mick Fanning, with Andy Irons and Lyndie Irons, and they had laughed in my face. There was, I think, a lesson in there somewhere.